Welcome to the dark side.
Greetings, I'm Lord Bruticus, and this is episode 39 of the Dark Side Chats. In this episode, Darths, Shivolo, and Lysias return over the telephone for another round-table discussion, this time with their thoughts on certain Star Wars video games.
Red 5 standing by.
Greetings, and welcome once again, Darth Shivolo and Darth Lysias, to the Dark Side Chats.
Greetings, brutal one.
Greetings, my friend.
Now, we're here this time to talk about Star Wars video games, and, well, I remember the old days well. Now, I say old days because my very first Star Wars game experience was in the arcade when, at the age of 10, this game, the Star Wars arcade game in 1983, came out. What was your first Star Wars gaming experience, and what about it did you like the most?
Well, I would say that my first Star Wars video game experience was in the arcade playing Empire Strikes Back and spending hours playing it because I had to beat Darth Vader. And it was a great experience because I would not have wasted my coinage better than on a game like that.
What was the name of that game?
I think that was the Star Wars trilogy.
The Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. That's one of my favorites as well.
And I would say the same thing for me. I would always be playing, well, in order that I was playing the A New Hope level the most, especially blowing up the TIE Fighters and getting bonus points by destroying part of the Star Destroyer.
Well, video games and video game platforms have certainly evolved over the years. Now, I enjoyed Rebel Assault 2 on the PS1 and subsequently Battlefront and Battlefront 2 on the PS2, which I still enjoy. What was it about Battlefront 2 that captivated you the most?
I would say that my experience with Battlefront 2 would be the multiplayer. When you got to play as your favorite character, which everybody knows that my favorite character is Darth Bruticus, so I'd love to get a chance to play that in the multiplayer and chase other players online as the same character, and you never know that you could run into another Bruticus and battle it out and see who was the best.
Battlefront 2, what captivated me the most about it is, unlike Battlefront 1, you can play as the hero, either the Jango or Boba Fett or Smuggler Han Solo or the trio Han, Luke, and Leia or the Sith or the Jedi. Unlike Battlefront 1, you can only select the hero but not play as only the computer. You can play as the hero, but in Battlefront 2, you can get the opportunity to play as the hero.
Of course, as we talked about, my all-time favorite Star Wars game in the arcade, aside from my first enjoyable gaming experience, which we talked about, was and still is the Trilogy Arcade game. What other Star Wars games, arcade or otherwise, that we haven't talked about yet, have you enjoyed, and what is it about them that makes them your favorite games?
I would say that mine would be the Knights of the Old Republic. The first one and the second one, where you get to play as either a Jedi or a Sith. As for me, I played as a Sith, and I got to customize my character, and I got to do my own responses and see how the characters evolved around me, and see how what your Sith did to the other characters was funny, and then some of the replies on Knights of the Old Republic was funny. And the bosses was a great fight because you got to see all these new force powers that you never heard of until you played the Knights of the Old Republic.
Well, for me, my game experience at home was the PS1 games, Star Wars Masters of the Tiraka, which was a Star Wars fighting game, and it was pretty great. I enjoyed the fact that it was interesting that you got to play as like Vader, Luke and Bespin, Luke and Return of the Jedi, or Han Solo, or Arden Lynn, or Boba Fett.
You were weak when I found you. Now Now your hatred has become your strength. At last, the dark side is your ally.
The Force Unleashed, which I must say is a masterpiece both in game and story, as I have the game, the novel, and the audiobook, and I thoroughly enjoy them all, is also one of your favorites. Now, I love some of the things they included in the story, including Shakti, Maris Brood, Juno Eclipse. Okay, I'll stop. My wife doesn't know who they are, and she's giving me that look again. What are some of your favorite moments in The Force Unleashed?
My favorite moment in The Force Unleashed was the fact that when you play on the Wii version, you got to feel the Force. You got to feel like you were the person behind the apprentice. You got to feel the lightsaber clashes, and you got to feel like you were actually force pushing doors apart. And you got to feel like you were actually choking a stormtrooper. And that, to me, was the best gaming experience right there, is when you got to feel like you were the Sith or the Jedi in that game. And the storyline was perfect. I mean, it was just beyond belief that they would pull something like this off and say, wow, Vader was very cunning and had a secret apprentice.
Yes, for me, what I love about The Force Unleashed the most was the fact that the battle sequence between, you had to choose between Vader or Sidious, whether you choose it as Vader, you took his place as the Emperor's new apprentice, and as they call it, the Sith Stalker. And if you chose Sidious, you, of course, it went on with the 10 gaps between the prequels and the original trilogy. And they answer a lot of questions like how was the rebellion formed, and how does most Jedi meet their fate, and also what inspired Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and all the other leaders to rise up, and also what is Vader's so intent on defeating the rebels.
You are Vader's slave, but your power is wasted with him. You could be so much more.
You will never convince me to betray my master.
Poor boy. The Sith always betray one another. But I'm sure you'll learn that soon enough.
Thank you very much, Darth Shivillo and Darth Lysias, for being guests here once again on the Dark Side Chats. It's been a very interesting conversation indeed.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, my friend.
There's no need to kill me now.
You are a slave to the dark side. I'd be doing the galaxy a favor.
It's not my fault. Shakti abandoned me here. This planet is evil. It corrupted me.
What Star Wars video game is your favorite and why? Be sure to put your answer in the comments section of this episode.
Until next time, may the dark side be with you always.
Give yourself to the dark side.
Thank you for doing so much for me and making my card at rock. Thanks so much.